The New Orleans Saints made a very heartbreaking but necessary trade. Rashid Shaheed reunites with Clint Kubiak up in Seattle. My name is Trizzy Trace Girouard. You're watching Saints Now by Chat Sports. We're going to react to the trade. We're going to break it on down here, and I'm going to tell you what this means moving forward. First things first, needed to wear the Shaheed threads one more time. We'll miss you, sweet prince. One last time, we're going to say it. I have the need for Shaheed. I'm just so heartbroken I can't even do it right. Trade alert, here's the information. We'll do it again later because I'm so emotional right now. I'm actually very upset, but it's a move that was necessary. Shaheed traded for a 2026 fourth and a fifth round pick. Now I will say this is really, really nice return for a player who was an undrafted free agent. And I do think that when you consider all of the elements, Rashid Shaheed's 27 years old. He was on a contract year. The Saints have been interested in keeping around Chris Olave. You had to make a tough decision. All in all, I think a fourth and a fifth round pick is nice. We'll let you know what the compensation or what the total draft picks are for New Orleans here in a second, but I want you to grade the trade for me. A, B, C, D, or F. Do you like the trade? Do you hate the trade? Let me know what you think about it. We're going to tell you guys about Rashid Shaheed if you're a Seahawks fan. We're going to tell you why this is good news for us Saints fans because all in all, like I said, this was a move that needed to be made. Now, the New Orleans Saints picks in 2026 are now as follows. You own your first-round pick. Right now, that's number 1 overall. You own your second-round pick. Right now, that's 33 overall. You own your third-round pick. You get Seattle's fourth-round pick, which will be later in the fourth round. You own your own fifth-round pick. You now have a second fifth-round selection from Seattle. And then now you also have a sixth-round pick, which is your own. No seventh because you traded that away for Devon Godshaw. So potentially we'll try to recoup that today. The trade deadline is still a few hours away, and the Saints could make some moves, but let's talk about Rashid, the need for speed, Shaheed. I'm going to miss him. I really am. And it's heartbreaking to see that he is now swapping in the black and gold for some neon green and navy blue. But I can tell you right now, I think the Seahawks offense is going to be very thankful that they made this move. He's a very fast, very talented player, and somebody who can take the top off of a defense at any moment in time, arguably the fastest player in the entire National Football League, a guy who will definitely be a weapon for Sam Darnold. I think he could be really nice and complimentary next to JSN. And with the Seahawks offense led by Clint Kubiak, he was very successful with Clint Kubiak as his OC last year. Obviously, Shaheed did suffer the injury, the knee injury against Atlanta, so we didn't get the full season with him. But Clint Kubiak was a fan of him, enough so to bring him in. Remember, against the Cowboys, Shaheed feasted. Against the Panthers, Shaheed feasted. The New Orleans Saints offense in those first 2 games were historically productive before they went on that drastic losing streak. And Rashid Shaheed was a focal point as to why the New Orleans Saints found so much success. And I think that that's going to be a big reason why the Seattle Seahawks will have success as well. I want you guys to show some love to Rashid Shaheed in the comments, and we're going to tell you guys about today's presenting sponsor, and we're going to also talk about what the Saints need to do moving forward here. But first things first, got to tell you guys about Chubby's shorts. I absolutely love Chubby's, but it's not just shorts. They also have awesome clothing for fall and for the winter. If you need a pair of everywhere joggers, Chubby's quite literally has you covered. There's a new comfort collection that you got to check out. It's the perfect collection, especially the everywhere jogger. That's the perfect pant for impromptu naps, weekend errands, and everything in between. And I know that you guys are being dragged around to all sorts of dates, all sorts of crazy activities with your girl. And I know that necessarily doesn't mean you're dressed for comfort, but you can be dressed for comfort with Chubby's fall collection. The leaves are turning, the temps are dropping, and the weekend is getting that nice autumn crisp. And fellas, I know you need to update your fall wardrobe, and I got a hookup for you. Head to chubbyshorts.com/chatsports to now get 20% off your order for a limited time. I've been rocking Chubby's gear since I was in high school, and the fact that they now have evolved from just shorts and swimsuits to every year-round clothing. You can do it at any time. The clothes are comfortable, they're stretchy, the fabric is absolutely amazing, the colors are vibrant. Trust me, you will love your Chubby's gear. You got to go and get some. Click the link in the comments or description of the video to get started, whether you're layering up for tailgates, lounging around on lazy Sundays, or you're just leaning fully into comfort or fall comfort. Chubby's has you covered. For a limited time, Chubby's is giving listeners of Saints Now by Chat Sports 20% off their order with the code CHATSPORTS at chubbyshorts.com/chatsports. That code CHATSPORTS. You see it at the bottom of your screen. Click the link in the comments and description of this video and show Saints Now some support and show your thighs some respect with Chubby's. Alrighty, let's keep talking about Rashid Shaheed to Seattle. Unfortunately, you now are in a weird position in the wide receiver room. So today, when you woke up, you had 5 wide receivers on the active roster. You had Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, Brandon Cooks, Devon Vele, Mason Tipton. Now you only have 4. But the good news is this now opens up opportunities for Devon Vele to get more involved in the offense. This gives Devon Vele more snaps. He has not been somebody who's even been getting a lot of snaps, not to mention the targets and the production hasn't been there, but now he gets to actually get on the field, and with Rashid Shaheed being gone, it sucks, it blows, but you got to find a way to make right on this investment. I mean, you traded a 4th and a 7th round pick for this player. You need to get him on the field. And unfortunately, the New Orleans Saints were sort of in this position where you kind of had to trade away a player to give Devon Vele more opportunities, unless you were just going to straight up bench Brandon Cooks, and I don't necessarily know if that's something that Kellen Moore was willing to do. Now, I got to say, this is not a bad trade. You got to give Mickey Loomis credit. I don't think that this was one that he got fleeced on. I actually think you got pretty nice return. Reminder, Rashid Shaheed was an undrafted free agent, and he was going to need to get a payday this offseason. And so now the Saints can allocate money elsewhere to help on the offensive line, for example. I think that that's something that the Saints definitely need to do. You obviously needed to draft a wide receiver, but now it is even more so of a need this offseason. So I think you should spend money on a receiver. I think you should go and draft and prioritize drafting a wide receiver. And if you do win out of the 1st overall pick, Jordan Tyson would be an excellent option. You need to get more players on this offense and create more weapons for this team because, quite frankly, the offense has been very lackluster, and it's already struggled to create explosive plays. But now the most explosive player on the team is gone, so don't expect it to get any better anytime soon. If you want year-round coverage around the New Orleans Saints, I highly encourage you to hit the sub button right here, right now. Turn on your notifications. We are currently live breaking down the NFL trade deadline, which is why you should subscribe, because anytime there's anything notable happening, we are here to make sure the Who Dat Nation is informed. Now, some final thoughts here. I want to just kind of look ahead to the future when it comes to the wide receiver room in New Orleans next year. You for sure have Chris Olave, Devon Vele. You traded for Jalen Polk. You signed Trey Palmer in waivers. You have Mason Tipton. And then you obviously assume you're going to draft another wide receiver. You're going to bring in a couple of extra players throughout the offseason. So looking ahead, it's not very exciting. It's not a sexy wide receiver room by any means. But I'm interested to see how this goes forward. I'm interested to see how the New Orleans Saints use these draft picks. And at the end of the day, it was a move that needed to be made. And I messed it up at the beginning, and I'm not going to mess it up at the end. So for one last time, let's show some love to number 22. Type his jersey number in the comments. I have the need for Shaheed. Go be great, number 22. Go make us proud. Go hoist a Lombardi. And we'll miss you in New Orleans. My name is Trizzy Trace Girouard. I'm heartbroken that Rashid Shaheed is gone. However, it was a move that needed to be made. Thank you so much for watching our breakdown, whether you're a Seahawks fan or a Saints fan. At the end of the day, I appreciate you for tuning in. This has been Saints Now. Y'all stay golden. We'll see you next time.